Hello and welcome to Breakfast Central on a Monday morning. It feels really good to be back on the air, and we are super excited to be here with you and for you. It's live and we are broadcasting from, Lagos, and if you feel free, you want to be part of our broadcast, as always, we welcome you to do so. My name is Joe Hansel. A lot has happened this weekend, from screening exercises to a governor threatening anyone who's got powers to come prove it, to a sad death of a young man who was killed right in front of a university. And then you can also talk about what's been happening with Rivers State. It's been back and forth. We have all of these stories and much more. By the way, my name is Joe Hansen, and joining us this morning happens to be one who definitely we'll get to introduce. But let me first of all introduce a man who likes to travel from one city to the other. Maybe he has where he's going to today. His name is Benga Aboroa. Good morning.
Well, it's good to be here after such a busy weekend, and it was busy politically across the country. Like you said, conventions, there's no letting off steam for politicians as we inch towards the big 2027 general election. So many movements here, so many deal makings, horse trading, a lot of things happening across the political spectrum. And trust us here at Breakfast Central to bring you all the news you missed out on over the weekend. And of course, we bring you insightful and deep dive analysis of the biggest stories that matter. I am Benga Aboroa, and joining us this morning, yes, I know it's World Cup season is coming soon, and quick substitution. One striker has gone to rest her legs and her vocal cords, as we use it on this program, and in comes another. Ronaldo for Messi, yes, they're star players like that. I have Judith Atibi joining us this morning. She does deserve that bell. I wish I had my whistle this morning. We'll have props. Well, maybe you can decide to bring your trumpets tomorrow.
You know what? I should. Good morning, guys. Always warm regards here, and just how you guys always welcome me. It's so heartwarming, to say the least.
Oh, my
comparing me to Messi,
Oh.
there's nothing I can say. You have put me on a pedestal. Please bring me down.
No, stay there. Stay. That's your level.
To Messi is just it's quite.
No, you'll stop. You'll stop.
I must say thank you so much.
You're welcome.
By the way, you said Benga always travels from one.
Yeah, he's lost it.
So,
he used to go from Ogbomoso. So there's a way he used to say it. He used to his introductions. He would say from Tokyo to okay, let me use an easier one. From
Brandenburg to Johannesburg. You know,
or is it from
Hamburg
to Abia?
Yes. Because New Central is international.
The economy is bad.
But fuel price is high. I can't be flying.
Yeah, because I was going to say there's only one chap we know here who really travels around the entirety of this town, of this country, really.
Yeah, the Okada man.
To the host of
the Okada man.
The Okada man. There we go.
Okay, the Okada boy. You see the Okada boy.
So
how was your weekend, by the way?
So that's anyway. It was very quiet. I've had busy weekends back to back. So I made sure that immediately I got home Friday morning, I didn't leave my house until yesterday evening to go get fuel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I tried to stay. Also, I was kind of preparing for when I found out I was on breakfast. I was like, I gotta get ready. Yeah. So, Efiko, I was jacking all through.
It's good. It's good to have you. It's good to have you. That's what matters. And you're here, and we're ready to kick in for the next few days or weeks. But shout out to our guys who are streaming, who are joining our streaming. We're online, we're on YouTube. Join us, drop a comment or two. Thanks, Moki Chukwemeka, always bright and early, saying good morning to the team. Says good morning, Judith. Welcome, Benga the Traveler, Joe, and so on. And Benga, thank you. Let's get into our wake-up conversations, shall we? Now, fresh uncertainty is trailing the political future of Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, after the Rivers State Governor made a brief appearance before the APC screening committee in Abuja on Sunday. Now, Fubara, who arrived at the Plateau Governor's Lodge around 3 p.m., spent less than 20 minutes inside the screening venue before storming out visibly upset and declining questions from journalists, simply saying, no comment. Well, unlike other governors seeking re-election, the Rivers Governor was not escorted out by committee members, further fueling speculations of tension within the party and his prolonged political feud with FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Reports also suggest moves are underway to replace Fubara with House Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda ahead of the 2027 governorship race, although APC officials insist the screening process is still ongoing and no final decision has been reached. And just to add to this, some members of the Governor Siminalayi Fubara camp yesterday also put out a video where a picture, an image that showed the governor. There you have it. That's the image on the screen. The governor is alongside the chairman of the APC, and they were, of course, in the, you could say, one of the areas in the governor's house in Plateau State, because you could see the governor's picture hung right there on the wall, Governor Mufwang, alongside the president to the left. And the rumors there, or the statement made by some of Governor Siminalayi Fubara's followers or men, they said it's a done deal, that he got there and they said, you're the governor already.
Yeah,
we don't need to ask you any questions. Just sign up and leave. You're good to go. I'm wondering what's going on. Drama upon drama.
I mean, right now, since it's declined comment, we'll have to, speculate and read body language. Judy, what do you make of this?
What's going on in River State? I mean,
we've had a graveyard type of peace, and then all of a sudden...
Peace? Was it graveyard? Would you say it was graveyard?
Yeah, it was. I mean, Rivers hasn't been in the news, or maybe it's just silence. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing about, what happens behind closed doors, because you really don't know what's going on behind closed doors. And then when you finally, then it just takes one news and then the cans start to open, right? Let me say this, and hopefully it won't be long-winded and you stay with me. First of all, the most interesting thing about this was immediately when the issue of impeachment started, when the House was moving to try to impeach him. Afterwards, we saw that when it got to the courts, it was put to bed and it became very silent. What happened within that time, in my honest opinion, was the godfather, he who shall not be named, was moving behind the scenes to make sure that his will, that whatever it is, whatever his choices, whatever he wants for the state must happen. Now, let's state what it is once and for all, which is very clear. Number one, the Fubara, rather, Wike doesn't want his predecessor to take a second term. He's made it very clear. He's made it clear the House also is fully in support of Wike, whether it's the Wike-led faction or the Wike members who are part of the APC. And we've seen that maybe the president must have stepped in and said, or the federal might must have stepped in and said, you people need to be silent. I'm sick and tired of hearing all of you. And then in that time, we didn't hear anything. I believe moves are being made behind closed doors. Now, I will say this. Fubara is not exactly a politician, in my honest opinion, because the way politics has been playing in the last couple of years, all that's going on with him since last year and up until this time, he still hasn't learned how to play Wike at his game. Now, we don't know what happened in the meeting. There's still no word coming from both camps. But one thing is certain for sure. If Fubara doesn't move now, if he doesn't start to talk to media, if he doesn't have his team, saying what is going on behind closed doors, I fear that what happened last year with him being, with the state of emergency rule and him being ousted, this time it might be just bigger, larger,
so quick one,
and it would ruin his political career.
What do you think happened at the Plateau State government's guest house in Port Harcourt?
I think that whoever is in charge of screening of the candidates are either part of the Wike camp, because we seem to forget that Wike has a lot of power.
So you don't think he was happy stepping out?
You said? It
wasn't happy. It was visibly upset. Right?
Yeah, because, from what we see and what we've heard, you can tell, you're not saying anyone who's gone to a screening committee and is trying to get a ticket and wants everybody who is a governor under the APC plus the president is getting unanimously supported.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
First right of refusal.
So it's just, you already should have, what did you say now?
First right of refusal.
Right. Yeah, you should have that. But then you're walking in, you're walking out, barely 30 minutes. You're not talking to the crew. You're not saying anything.
But let's not forget that in all of this too, you did have, just like I mentioned, we also had members from the governor's camp who came out and put out a statement on X yesterday and said it's a done deal, it's done and dusted, that because he's a governor, the screening committee just told him, hey, okay, governor, no, we don't have anything.
Take a bow and leave.
Just take a bow and leave. I don't
then
know
why are you not saying anything to the press?
Yeah, but it's different. Don't forget that it's a heated politics.
So he might not want to.
So
he might be keeping his cards close to his chest.
Close to his chest. Now, don't forget too that just over the weekend, let me see if I can lay my hands.
I don't know.
On the list of some of the wards that were covered in terms of that of the governor. You did have a lot of persons supporting the governor, Siminalayi Fubara's camp, who had said over the weekend they were actually screened. Now, remember that the APC political party, which is the APC, you had Governor Siminalayi Fubara move to the APC,
right?
A move that was not expected, especially from the Wike's camp. And as soon as he moved, it was quite surprising because the likes of Martins and Mawule, who had said they moved to the APC, when the issue got heated up, they now denied. They denied that they moved to the APC. They said, no, we did not move, even though there was proof. But as we speak now, even Martins and Mawule was screened over the weekend, and most of them moved to the APC too. So we're starting to see a game that nobody would really be able to talk about.
But do you think there's a gap? Do you think the FCT minister would have time to involve himself in Rivers' internal domestic politics, knowing that his hands are also full in Abuja and PDP politics in this national politics?
Let me run through some of the APC state house. My answer to that question, yes. Remember, just early this year, when he took off from Abuja, he took a leave of absence from Abuja. Okay, let's call it a leave of absence.
The local government tours.
He went to different local governments. He was hosting. He had events. He was canvassing for votes for who? Not just the president. Even he was making it clear that, listen, like, he's the godfather. I'm back. And I still forget that I'm in Abuja. I still run things here.
Right.
But let me run through. Below is the full list of endorsed aspirants and their respective constituencies. You have Sokari, good boy, Sokari, Ahoda West constituency. That's a very strong constituency because Ahoda West is very strong when it comes to politicking and governor, former governor. Victor Okojombo, Bonny State constituency. You have him there also. He went through the screening exercise. I can't run through all the names, but I can tell you a total of 32 names were screened. 32 over the weekend. Now, these are from either the Siminalayi Fubara camp. You also had the Wike camp, who equally were screened. Like I said, the speaker, Martins Mawule, was also screened, and they've moved to the APC. So it's going to be a drama upon drama. But the biggest question is Chinda, who happens to be the minority leader in the House. Many said he did not announce that he was leaving the PDP to the APC. It was not announced in the House, only for them to see him over the weekend that he had gotten the APC form, and all of a sudden he had gotten screened. And everybody's saying, wait, what's going on? So you have some people in the House saying, okay, we didn't hear that. And then you have some rumors that he can go through the process, but when it's time for him to, either he wins, then it will come against him that, listen, why didn't you announce?
Resign in the proper
way. Announce your resignation in the House earlier? What we're seeing here is drama upon drama. It's drama upon drama.
Guys, look, I got to tell you, right, the way I see this thing, and hopefully it doesn't play out because it seems like I'm the messenger of doom here, so bear with me, right? What I see here is Martins Mawule, vying for the office, Kingsley Chinda vying for the office. Martins, of course, is in the camp of, is clearly the right-hand man for Wike, for the FCT minister. Then there's Kingsley Chinda as well. And, of course, not to forget all of these other players who are trying to get into office, right?
And they all belong to one party.
And they all belong to one party. So
and the window has closed.
And the window has closed. And what we've seen, because the news and the headlines tells us that what we have seen is that all of the governors who are going back into office, either the Speaker of the House is in support of them, or they are not going to get governorship tickets. They're not going to go and get forms to run for governorship. Like, we don't know, but what we know from what we've heard and from the murmurings going on, they're going to get the same tickets. So when they get to the primaries, only time will tell. Because if the delegates if your delegates are shared between these three heavyweights, for the APC ticket, then who do you think will clinch a ticket? Just saying.
But most of them are, they've been using consensus candidacy and endorsement. So, because the Electoral Act says you either have delegates vote or you come up with a consensus candidate. So far, most of the APC aspirants have been endorsed via consensus candidacy. Exactly. But let's brace ourselves up for high-stake political drama. And hear what Nigerians are saying on X on this issue, this developing story in River State. Godson says, Mr. Fubara has seen the handwriting on the wall. He knows the screening exercise will not favor him. And Nyesom Wike's boys are the ones in charge of screening. Mr. Fubara is a Gunners. That's what he said. I didn't know Fubara was an Arsenal fan.
I didn't know too.
Osana says, Rivers people will be the biggest losers if they fall for this cheap trick APC wants to use to get sympathy votes. They all know what they're doing. On Mayam 1 says, this is where you and I differ. No individual should decide who governs a state or not. Wike is not even a member of the APC. How can he decide who gets the ticket in a party it doesn't belong to? Very instructive tweet there. We're discussing these issues as if, he's a member of the APC, but we know how powerful he is.
Who's that?
This tweet here from Enyo Mukoro is one that I find interesting. Fubara should go and learn from Ambodi. Where are the choristers? Now, Fubara gets Rivers. You can't bite the fingers that fed you and not eat blood. There is the probability of a petition on him before the panel. The Supreme Court indictments, the one from agreement before Tinubu, the one-term agreement before Tinubu.
We don't know, because they say agreement, but nobody saw a copy of the agreement. It's just speculations that he told President
it's only the primaries that will tell us.
Highlighted what the agreement is, but anyway, let's just finish with the tweet.
Audace says, in politics, nothing is unfair. Maybe you should ask the Peter Obi and Rotimi Amechi who governed River State before Wike, or even Patience Jonathan who carried Wike to Odili, pleading that they should support Wike when he wanted to run for governor.
We remember that story. We've seen the story many times. But then again, like I said, from Fubara's camp, his camp have said that he was screened. The biggest problem here is, I don't know, let's just quickly run through it before we go to our next story. The biggest problem here is that over the weekend, I don't know if you are also aware that there was mild drama within the Governor's Progressive Forum.
Oh, yes. They are having a faction.
There was a faction even within the APC where it was split into two.
Right.
About 20 governors were said to support the change of the chairman for the governors, for the Progressive Forum. And of course, we know it's His Excellency Hope Uzodinma. He said he was removed and then he was replaced with the governor of, is it Imo State or Enugu State? I can't remember right now. And all of a sudden, it seemed like it was a back and forth, and everybody said, no. There had to be a quick meeting that was held.
Crisis meeting,
and then they came out to quickly state that, listen, nothing, no shaking. We're here together, and we're making things happen. Now, fingers have been pointed to the FCT minister once again. And whether you like it or not, there's a triangular depiction. I mean, as journalists, we've been trying to
there's a link.
There's a link. Yes, we've been trying to wear our investigative hat to say, okay, put one and two together. Now, on the divide, that's just under. You'd find that you have
who is the person
you have the FCT minister
yeah.
who has been, fingered. You have Governor Siminalayi Fubara on this side, and then at the top, you do have the governor of Imo State, whom many have said is a full supporter of Governor Siminalayi Fubara.
Right.
And it's not going well on the other side for the FCT.
Meanwhile, the president is also there, and you report everything to the president, any small disagreements or arguments.
But Gbenga, just to highlight again, the president had said that...
He has met these people a few times.
Given, let's look at it from a clear aspect. The president had said for the APC that he has given powers to the governors.
That is 001. APC 001 in River State.
And every governor who must return has the power, the jurisdiction, and so on. He said that.
Maybe he said that generally, but
doesn't mean that
that is my beef, and it doesn't mean that
now,
it doesn't automatically mean that my beef.
Are pulled back. They said, okay, our hands are up. Look at other states, other APC states.
That's what I'm saying.
Every other person have pulled back and said,
they pulled back and they said, okay,
the
unanimous, so this is the person.
Yeah, but we're dealing with a different kettle of fish, the FCT minister.
And that's why I say again that Fubara is not the politician who can stand up. He's not playing at the same level that Wike is playing at. And he really needs to learn how to do that. You must take a play. Look, to fight a lion, to understand a dinosaur, you must study the dinosaur and become a dinosaur to be bigger than the dinosaur, to defeat the dinosaur. That's the only way you got to do it. Look, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't know what's behind closed doors. But from what we've seen from the body language and from the headlines and what's coming out from those states, I fear that the primaries will be a reflection of what happened a year ago, around this same time, where we woke up one morning, breaking news, the president addresses the nation and calls a state of emergency on the state of Rivers State.
Okay.
But also, I do have to state very clearly that this is what might actually split APC. All the persons who are going under the umbrella of the APC, it's not going to be the opposition.
Under the broom.
It's going to eat themselves from inside. The broom might just disintegrate and scatter.
Broom. Let's move on to our next story very quickly. Now, let's talk about the NDC. Like Benga highlighted, and we also highlighted in the opening, that this weekend was filled with a lot of...
Even on a Sunday, there was no rest.
There was no rest. Politicians were busy up and down. Now, the Nigeria Democratic Congress has zoned its 2027 presidential ticket to southern Nigeria for a single 4-year term, with a vice presidential slot reserved for the north. Now, the decision reached at the party's maiden national convention in Abuja clears the way for former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi and other southern aspirants to contest for the ticket ahead of the 2027 election. Delegates also resolved that the presidency would automatically return to the north in 2031, describing the arrangement as a move to promote fairness, inclusion, and national balance. Now, speaking at the convention, Peter Obi said the party was determined, or like a friend of mine would say, determined, to rescue Nigeria from poor leadership and insecurity, while former NNPP governor, talking about Rabiu Kwankwaso, backed his zoning formula, calling it a bold step toward national healing and unity. Let's get to watch the footage. We'll be right back.
Every Nigerian today is worried. No Nigerian knows where the next meal will come from. Because Nigeria is down among the 100th countries of the world. We want to move Nigeria from poverty, from consumption to production.
We should work in evidence with the parties' agreement to ensure fairness and federal character involves ramifications.
Okay, so they moved it to the south. But there's one political party that many were talking about, and that's got to do with the ADC, a former bride, where the former vice president, Abubakar, actually got his form, got everything, and said, listen, they are not moving anything to the south. You know, he's moving in, he wants to be president. And this
deja vu, this 2023 all over again.
Exactly, that's what we're seeing.
2019 all over again.
And then there are rumors that former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is throwing his hat.
No, they asked him to throw his hat. He said he's consulting.
Yeah, no, I mean, just...
How long?
That was, the consulting is different from what we saw this weekend. So this weekend, the stories were he's jumping on the back of PDP. That's what we got this week.
Has he finished consulting?
They said it's PDP. Now, the question we're asking is, which of the PDP? Is it Wike PDP? Or is it Turaki-led PDP? It's back-to-back. But is it going to be a 3-horse race or 4?
But look, when it comes to former President Jonathan, I'm not speculating until he says it with his mouth. I mean, any spokesperson can say anything until we see a declaration.
It's not correct.
That is not correct. Until we see a declaration from the man himself.
Please permit me to read some comments online. Let's go straight to YouTube. It says, I'm not seeing pictures. So another drama to begin in Rivers State, so says Media Judger. Okpana says, NDC should pick credible governorship candidate in Rivers State as alternative to both APC and PDP. Mokoye Chukwemeka says, you said it right, Judith. Fubara is not a politician. Peter Georgia comes back and says, Judith's analysis is right. Fubara should start speaking to media and let everyone know what is going on before Wike starts his game. Michael Zeo says, Fubara is a... and failed to confront Nyesom Wike head-on as executive governor. By the time APC screens him out, he cannot decamp to any other party. Fubara is nothing but a one-term governor, he says. Okpana says Fubara is not desperate. He'll support NDC candidates in Rivers. Wike and Tinubu will be crushed in Rivers State. May God deliver you from speculative journalism. Dwell on facts and death.
So
Joseph.
what's the facts? What's the
well,
facts?
I think I don't think Joseph was watching.
I don't think
if he was watching, he would understand what we're saying.
From the beginning.
And maybe you should start from the beginning. You can rewind
to get the whole picture.
Get the whole picture. You just joined in, okay? Fubara wanted to run a second-term governor. That is why he decamped to APC. And with Fubara walking out of APC screening now, something is not right in Rivers, and Fubara's second term is at stake. Well, like we said, his team have said that he was screened. He was asked to take a bow and move. Let's not forget that Fubara and Rivers Speaker, members of the House.
That came out
take
wrong.
a bow and go.
Exit left.
Yeah, no, like move. They said there was only...
Yeah, your
like,
governor, your
they know
executive
him.
governor.
It's the APC number one. They just say, you know what, yeah, that's fine. But that's what we got. We're going to get that tweet and put it up in a bit. Let's not forget that Fubara and Rivers Speaker and members of the House are not even in good terms, or these will affect his coming as governor second term. Fubara must align with Wike, or else he says he must align with Wike. And are we not tired of biting the fingers that fed you? Rivers State has not gotten real development because of one man's useless ambition. Can people make decisions for themselves? I mean, there's so many comments on this. We can't take all. We can't take all. We'll try to see what we can do.
Can I say something about zoning? I'm going to say two things about zoning and the NDC and the PDP, Atiku and Peter Obi, and maybe Goodluck Jonathan. I cannot wait till we get to a position where, as Nigeria, as a nation, will move past zoning and the issue of tribe leading the country.
Or religion.
Or religion leading the country. I cannot wait for us to move past that to get to the point of ideals, ideology, competency, and track record. Until we get to that point, this issue of zoning would always be...
And how long are we going to be a nascent democracy?
Yeah, because we're 65 years into our democracy and far longer into this business entity that is 65 Nigeria.
65 years as a country.
As a country, right?
1999 to date.
28 in our democracy.
Of uninterrupted democratic experience.
But even longer as a business entity that is Nigeria, right? And so I beg to ask the question, when do we move past this issue of, of zoning and tribe and religion and, place and culture as leaders of our country? That's one. And then two, and by far the most important, is that Atiku, the former vice president of Nigeria, former presidential candidate of the PDP, and now who is fingered to be the presidential candidate of the ADC, who everyone at the time thought the ADC was going to be this juggernaut of a party that would be a bigger opposition than the PDP. Atiku, I fear that you may just be the thing that I do not want to name, but you have... The personality that is Wike is because of Atiku. True or false? In 2022, 2023...
Wike being the FCT minister today is because
Wike being the FCT minister and the power that have undone the PDP, him exiting and falling
they're going to argue with you
is because of Atiku, because his ambition
was supposed
to become president, as opposed to ambition to serve the people, because I believe you don't need to be president or vice president or a governor to make change in your community. And again, all
Judith,
this, look, I don't know, this might too, because
it
will still undo the ADC
again. They will say, now for your pocket.
Anyway.
Because he has a right to.
He's good. He paid 90 million naira.
Money that could have gone to creating healthcare, community centers, even in Adamawa State.
You can't tell him not to run.
I'm not saying do not run. He's been running since when? Come on, he's been running since what, 1999?
So let's see. The best thing.
But let's see a reaction to. There's a reaction to what Peter Obi had said at the NDC convention, that he was going to do only one term. Only one term. And Charles Chukwuma Soludo, the executive governor of Anambra State, responded. Let's take a listen.
Anybody with brain, you think you are talking to fools. You come to people and say, I will do only one term. Anybody, any politician who said that must be sent to a psychiatric home. Because the person must have some mental problem. When the Constitution allows you to stay up to 8 years, you come and tell us, I'm going to spend one term. Tell us where it has ever happened. Who? On a column,
Okay.
This is
very funny. But it's happened in South Africa, by the way. Yeah, if you talk about the
Nelson
likes of
Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. I mean, in 4 years, we saw changes. But that's South Africa. They will tell you, this is Niger. It's a different climate. But let's see what Nigeria
Ambode didn't say he wanted to spend one term, though. But he did
He
say
said
he was
that?
forced to.
No,
He did
never
say
said so.
How was it?
the powers that be made him spend one term.
So many comments on YouTube, we can't take them. But let's see if we can take a little more. NDC is working in favor of Obi, so says one of the comments. This zoning is to favor Obi, states in NDC. Judith, please say it. Atiku is the problem of Nigerians since 2015. Chukwemeka says, I cannot be a journalist too because I won't hold back. Well,
Look,
that's why you're not. We the Northerners will decide if Obi Kwankwaso should run for second term, depending their performance in 3 years of their first term, according to Okpana and so on.
All the things that
they need to win first
Jonathan did for
before
the
you can determine it.
why didn't he get a second term?
After they've done 3 years, in third year, they will determine.
You need to win first.
And Soludo says he needs to go and check. Indirectly, we know who he's talking about. What Nigerians are saying on X very quickly.
Obi?
Yeah. I mean, he was talking and then said the person might need to have a psychiatric checkup. This is the first sign of a political party with clear ideology of national unity, equity, and justice. Please, it's important this arrangement to be part of the party's constitution too. Talking about the 4-year term and then passing to the next. Quickly, ADC wasted our precious time and God compensated us with NDC. In less than 100 days of becoming a party, convention was held and presidential ticket zoned to the South, something the ADC failed to do even when it's obviously the turn of the South or more. Na better bullet we dodge. And let's see another one. Ni says, no responsible person would tell me Kwankwaso will work with such ticket with his political heart. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see Kwankwaso taking the VP eventually. What is he saying? Let's stop that conversation there. I think you're still behind schedule. Kwankwaso had said he would, and there was a video where he talked about him being happy with the 4-year term as we wrap the views up. Let's also mention that for those who had talked about Obi moving to the NDC, this weekend as well, stories had come out from the camp of the obedience telling the people to hush and keep quiet. And the reason is because they told the people, you see why Obi had to move? The Supreme Court ruling, the Federal High Court ruling came out over the weekend as well. What they simply said to the ADC was they're just going to keep, there was no clear direction as to what the ADC can do. So the ADC is currently, as we speak, also in limbo with what to do next.
So it was a good thing they left.
So everyone now said, now you see why Obi left.
Yeah.
Is it not obvious and clear that he had to leave? And everyone seems to be, swallowing.
Quick one,
back
before we
their
leave,
words.
who do you think Governor Soludo was referring to?
I think he was talking to Peter Obi.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I was
he was saying
referring?
anybody, because Peter Obi had said, that video, by the way, is not recent, because that video came out immediately. Peter Obi had made mention of 4-year term during an interview, with a news channel. He said, I'm going to go for 4 years, and then I'll hand over to
But why use such language for your predecessor?
Question, do you think, look, it's Nigeria. Question, do you think that the NDC will fall the same fate of Labour Party, ADC, and the rest when it comes to faction, the problem or the plague
When we
of
get
faction?
to that bridge, we'll cross it. But for now, everything looks... It's all kumbaya at the moment. They're all happy. It's one big happy family.
And the Labour Party too is fielding their... Anyway,
Yeah, because some entity will come out and say, I am the original leader of this party.
They've cancelled that. I think that was like 2 weeks ago. They cancelled that, even when one person showed up and said, anyway. But,
by the way, INEC's doors have closed, so...
They are closed, though. So anybody that goes back now,
can't move.
you can't jump the building or you jump the website. Let's go. Let's take a look at our top stories on a Monday morning. Thank you so much, guys, for all the comments. We cannot read all, but we'll be right back to take them. Starting off today, NDC zones 2027 presidency to South. That's one of our biggest top stories today. We'll take a look at that. Adebayo emerges SDP sole presidential candidate. We forgot to mention as well.
Again.
It was congratulations all the way, despite the Gombe factional issues.
One of the
Fubara
biggest stories, yeah.
Before APC
Presidential
as well.
Aspirant general.
Marketing marketplace crisis. We'll look at that as well. Plus, you can be part of the top stories by joining the newspaper front pages. We'll be right back for the conversations.
Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Fresh speculation has emerged around Governor Siminalayi Fubara after the Rivers State Governor reportedly walked out of an all-progressive Congress screening exercise without addressing journalists. According to reports, the incident occurred during the APC screening process for aspirants and party stakeholders, where Governor Fubara was expected to participate following his high-profile political realignment with the ruling party. Eyewitness accounts suggest the governor left the venue abruptly and declined to speak with the press, feeling possible tensions and questions about tensions within the party or concerns surrounding the screening process itself.
Well, let's tell you that the development comes months after Fubara's dramatic exit from the People's Democratic Party and his move to the APC amid the prolonged political crisis in Rivers State involving his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. While the APC has yet to issue a detailed explanation regarding the incident, political observers say the walkout could deepen speculation about internal alignments, loyalty battles, and the future of power dynamics within Rivers politics ahead of 2027. Well, to help us unpack the political significance of this development and what it may reveal about the current state of affairs within the APC and Rivers State politics, we are joined by Rivers State PDP chieftain, Honorable Collins Odu joins us this morning. Thank you so much for buying out time to join us this morning as we highlight some of the major issues that's affecting the governorship seat in Rivers State. Good morning.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters, and good morning, Nigerians. Welcome to a brand new week.
Absolutely. It's a brand new week.
Indeed.
Brand new conversation, brand new happenings filled with a lot over the weekend. What's really happening in Rivers State? I mean, you are at the forefront as well. You're closer to, the seat of power. You are aware of what's happening from the assembly. We do hear that a lot of persons were screened over the weekend. The speaker was screened. Also, a member of parliament who had not, according to sources, mentioned that he was resigning from the PDP to the APC was equally screened. And then the governor had to go all the way to Jos in Plateau State to also get screened. Can you give us an overview or highlight of what may be going wrong or what Nigerians do not know?
Okay, talking about what's happening in Rivers State, for now, everywhere is very peaceful, more peaceful than ever. And the screenings are ongoing and some results have been churned out. For example, there is the screening of the House of Assembly aspirants. That result has been released as at yesterday night. And we are waiting that of the governorship, the National Assembly, and all of them. I watched on telly a situation that you described, that the governor stormed out of the screening venue. While I do not want to preempt the screening committee, I will as well give you reasons why he has to storm out of the venue. It is no longer news that the governor, till date, as I speak with you today is the 11th of May, he has not submitted his budget to the assembly to be passed. The governor 2014 budget was a mystery, and 2015 the
2025,
solar
you mean, and
administrator
2024.
did that for him. And all of these issues are piled up. So you wouldn't expect anything less than what has happened.
Right. I have to ask you, you said that there's peace in the state. I mean, we've seen that from the news. There seems to be nothing happening regarding unrest in the state. But the polity at this point may be high. Would you say that it's high or not? And what is the likelihood of Siminalayi Fubara emerging as the candidate, the sole candidate of the APC, from what you've seen from, being close to the politics that's happening in the state? Is there a likelihood of him clinching the ticket and becoming the sole representative for the APC?
It's very unlikely.
Why do you say so?
In view of what I just stated, screening is like an interview. And on interviews, you present your scorecard. So I don't think that the governor possesses the scorecard to scale through any screening at all in Nigeria. So I wouldn't delve on that so much. It's very obvious that in terms of governorship, he's not there. In control of the party, even the APC, he's not there. Then funding is not there.
Seems to be losing our guest there due to network connectivity. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Breakfast Central here on News Central Television. We're talking about Rivers politics as we saw over the weekend the governor of the state, Governor Siminalayi Fubara, walking out of the screening exercise, pretty much shunning journalists and stating no comments when asked about the process and the exercise. He was pretty much in that building for no less than 30 minutes, approximately 20 minutes in that building for the screening exercise. Now, we also know that the leader of the House, as well as the minority leader, have both been screened by the APC. Now, the question is, did he get a go-ahead? Will he be the sole representative or the sole candidate for the APC for the governorship candidate? Will he be going for a second term?
There are also questions on, like Honorable Odu said, the screening exercise. That's why it's called a screening exercise. But I guess we have Honorable Collins Odu back. I'll let you complete your thoughts. Go ahead, Honorable Odu.
The screening exercise is all about it's the same thing as an interview. So you bring a lot of your scorecard to the table, and based on that, you'll be either qualified or disqualified. I equally mentioned that the House of Assembly aspirants, a few of them, 65 in number, were disqualified, and there are reasons why they were disqualified. Same reason I think the governor will be guilty of.
Unfortunately, we seem to have a very rough network this morning as we try to milk this conversation and get all the information that's needed to find out what's really happening in Rivers State. Hopefully, we'll get another guest to join us to also highlight some of these issues. But Honorable Odu, if you could help us see, maybe you want to check your network because the conversation is not one that would like to just touch and just move on very swiftly. We'd like to spend more time on that.
Especially with a political insider. And of course, there's still so much to unpack with regards to the screening and also to speak about his own party. Because as far as I'm concerned, the FCT minister is a member of the People's Democratic Party. He will be working in the interest of the People's Democratic Party to see. I wanted to ask him if the PDP is going to field a candidate in Rivers State, and if that PDP's candidate will have his backing, or they would fight it out in the APC.
Well,
right.
They'll tell you it's a two-factor authentication.
If one doesn't work.
Yes, they have a PDP candidate. They also have an APC candidate. But I think you can ask him. I think he's back.
Honorable Collins Odu, it's great to have you back. But that question my colleague asked you about the screening process and how it works is very important so that we can educate Nigerians. So do you think it's a done deal? The screening the governor went through yesterday, 30 minutes is out. What sort of questions would they have asked him? Will there be a part two? When are we going to likely get results of what happened at the screening exercise? And is there a possibility of him being rejected?
Like I said there's a possibility of him being rejected. I cited reasons. I said the House of Assembly aspirants that were disqualified, 65 in number, the reasons why they were disqualified, those reasons, the governor will certainly be affected by that. if you permit, I can read them out. So you begin to know that, like my people say, from the first step of a race, you know where it will end. So if you permit me, I'll read. They are this. Number 1, inducement and attempt of bribe. Somebody attempted to bribe the committee. 2, submission of unsworn affidavits. 3, failure to present voters' cards. 4, failure to present party membership cards. 5, conflict dates of birth. 6, this is the most important one, failure to confirm payments of membership dues by nominators. And then irregular party membership numbers of nominators. 7, inconsistency in names appearing on submitted documents.
All right.
All of these, especially the fact that dues and those, in the APC constitution, like they published here, they said if you are guilty of not paying your dues, you are not qualified to contest election. Even those who will nominate you are not even qualified to also nominate you. So these factors, I think, are some of the issues that will militate against the governor's ability to scale through, in addition to the type of leadership he has offered Rivers people.
When we say leadership, right, because the things that you listed, right, names, voter card, conflicts in birth certificates and the likes, I think, aren't those the requirement to be a member in the first place of whatever party? Because then if you are a member of a party and you are screened to have a membership card of the party, you must have at least ticked some of those boxes, right? And this is the /1 citizen of a state. So how is it that he somewhat have not met the prerequisite requirements of getting a ticket? That's one. And then the other, when you say that it was a case of gross bad leadership, what are we looking at, right? Because if it's the allegations that was levied against him by the House when they were moving to impeach him, they said it was an issue of budgets. But we have seen over and over again that the House refused him even presenting a budget. So what gives? What really is this leadership that is so abhorrent that he cannot clinch a ticket or at least win a primaries?
All right, I'll go over them one by one. If you said the House didn't allow him to present the budget, that's not true. As soon as they finished the last truths they had, the House requested him to submit the names of his commissioners for screening and equally prepared to present the budget, which he refused to do. So the House did not in any time refuse to attend to him. Then 2, you recall that in 2024, there is no budget to date, and the House requested him to come over and have the budget passed so that will, because it's a subject of litigation and conviction. The court has convicted him on that 2024 budget that he never presented the budget to the legal House of Assembly. So the Assembly requested him to come and let them pass that budget. To date, he has not done it. And as I speak with you, this is 2026, May 11th. The governor has not deemed it fit to still present his budget for 2026 and has been spending out of budgetary provisions. So in all of this, I don't know anywhere where you can go to any interview and go with very damaging scorecard and be expected to be screened to succeed. So all of these are the factors that has told me that he cannot make it in that screening.
That means it's on the APC then, because if the APC, if he was able to switch carpets, because, I mean, let's look at it this way. Just about the time when the state of emergency was declared and he was ousted as governor and they had to bring a sole administrator of the state, that was a perfect time for the APC to have screened him. But somehow the APC accepted him into the party. So why is it now, when he's going for a second ticket, that all of this is being brought out? Why is the APC not able to put a finger on their governors to, make sure that they deliver on what's it called? What's the mandate of the president? The mandates of the president.
I think the governor is not truthful to himself. If you recall, this is the only governor whose reception into his party was not celebrated, and he has not found it wanting to go and make inquiries. I think this has been maybe the hurdles he has been facing, but he has been concealing it till today. So I think that if APC actually did not do that, that's not true. I think that he has been trying to circumvent it. You see, before you are admitted into a party, certain criteria will be met, and then there will be this loud reception, which other governors, the governor of Bayelsa had it, the governor of Delta, same. So if you check, the governor of Rivers State has never been received by the APC. So I don't know what battles he may have been going through. So it is this period I think everything is beginning to manifest. So I don't blame the party. In the Rainbow Coalition, which we are in Rivers State, we haven't enjoyed the benefits and sponsorship of the governor in the Rainbow Coalition.
But could it be that Rivers State, the people of Rivers State have not enjoyed the benefits because of the interference that has led to the disruption of good governance in Rivers State? Because the governor has not even had time to breathe, talk us of working. We've seen back and forth. I mean, 6 months of office, and then you have an interim, and then later on he's back again, and then there's issue of, money presentation back and forth and so on. By the way, when we had the former, the one who, replaced him for 6 months, I'm talking about Ibok Tebas, we saw the amount that was spent. Over 600 million or more, or billions. So if you say you did not enjoy the dividends, I mean, monies were spent. Mm-hmm. So how is it that the Rivers people did not enjoy it? I mean, these numbers, these figures are there online, and they're everywhere. They were proven that these monies were spent. So let's leave that aside because of time. I just want to ask one more question, even though I would have loved to ask that question keenly to you. But as we speak now, Honorable Kingsley Chinda was also screened under the APC. But he's a member of the PDP, and there were no signs or clear tales that he had resigned in the House. Can you confirm to us?
Yes, I can confirm to you, but before then, let me dwell on something you mentioned. There's nobody that is influencing the governor. As a matter of fact, our leader, the Minister of the FCT, has been the most happiest persons each time this truce is being brokered by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He comes on television, live television, to express his joy. But each time we come back home, it turns out to be something different. The governor does a different thing from whatever was reached in each of the agreements. So nobody influences him. What I think is that I am yet to understand what is his problems. Then, talking about Kingsley Chinda, I just was speaking with you. The governor of Rivers State was voted on the platform of the PDP. Today he's in APC. Any day anybody can join the party he wants to. There is no limit to when anybody can join. And comfortably, I confirm to you that he has been screened by the APC and to contest the primaries with whoever will be cleared alongside himself. So sadly, we'll lose him in the PDP because he has been a very, very, very important figure in the life and history of PDP. Wish him well. But
quick one before we let you go.
That's his life to live.
Because we're running out of time. Our final question to you is this. You are a member of the PDP and APC stalwarts that have been watching this program this morning will be wondering what's your interest in the internal affairs of the APC, since you have quite a lot to say about that. But my question to you is, your party, the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State, do you have plans of fielding governorship candidates, since you're not happy with the administration of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. You said he hasn't delivered on the dividends of democracy. And also your leader, the FCT minister, is also a member of the People's Democratic Party. So it'll be a normal process, and the logical thing to do is to support your party man. What's happening with regards to a governor?
Who's likely to clinch a ticket for the PDP?
Who's likely to?
As a matter of fact, I would have expected you to tell me the names of those you may have seen in INEC who have picked from. But as a matter of fact, I know that several PDP members picked their forms up. I'm only going to tell you about one person I know, which is Honorable Emilia Amadi. She is running for the House of Assembly of Abu constituency too. I've not bothered to look at every other thing. But above all is the fact that we are a rainbow coalition. We operate from the PDP and the APC. So whoever the system picks, it doesn't matter the party. So
what you're saying is that the PDP at this point is just, the PDP in River State is just another arm of the APC.
No, I didn't say so.
Okay.
It is not hidden that the Federal Capital Minister, FCT Minister, is supporting the president. So like I said, we have a rainbow coalition. The PDP operates like PDP. APC operates like APC. But we have the same interest.
So
any one of them can.
So that means there will be no governorship candidate for the AP from the PDP to run side by side for the office of the highest office in the state?
That's not true yet. That's not true yet. Watch and see.
Will there be a candidate? Yes or no?
Watch and see. The screen is on.
Okay.
All right.
We'll watch and see.
We'll watch and see.
Thank you, Honorable Odu, for speaking with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you. And we do wish you all the best.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on away from politics a bit. Let's take a little break from politics. There's a lot, because the PDP is also battling the CTC issue. The court's certified true copy did come out over the weekend. Now there's a back and forth on that. The faction, Turaki-led faction, have come out to say they've been vindicated. The secretary, Anyawu's camp, which also falls under the FCT minister's camp, were told that, sorry, the appeal was not approved. And then the Wike's camp is now interpreting the CTC and saying the one they have that has been signed and is online is fake. Kind of like reminds me of that word being a fake. Fake is fake. It's fake. The one you have is fake.
That was my dad for you.
Fake was my dad for you.
Wow. You know, there's a lot going on. They might have to apply Solomonic wisdom in interpreting the CTC.
Also, what's important is also the budget presentation for the River State, and that's become a pillar of this gross misconduct allegations against the governor. Moving away from that, let's go to Makurdi, Benue State, where residents and traders at the modern market in Makurdi are raising alarm over growing heaps of refuse overtaking parts of the market. Now, they say the situation is obstructing movement, posing health risks, and driving customers away because of the foul odor and poor access roads. Now, despite repeated complaints to authorities, they say little has been done to address the situation. And our correspondent, Sowese Anyo, was there and brought us this report. Take a look.
At the modern market in Makurdi, overflowing refuse dumps have become a daily burden for traders and residents.
We have been passing here before, but since as this road don't be like this, we can no longer pass here. Many buses are not passing here. And some of us are used to come inside to look for some of look for load to carry. That we always come this side. No vehicles agree to come this side again. They don't want to come this side because of the road, because the road is blocked with this refuse.
Some traders and residents say the unhealthy environment is also affecting their health, with several reportedly visiting hospitals over illnesses they believe are linked to the growing refuse dump.
See dustbin there for this mother market near my shop. the thing that caused me disease. I go hospital. Since over 3 months. I dey hospital because of this dustbin there here.
They say despite raising concerns and appealing to relevant authorities on several occasions, little or no action has been taken to clear the waste.
We have made so many efforts. Personally, I wrote to BRS, those people that collected revenue from us. I wrote to the Minister of Commerce and Industry. I wrote to the management of the markets. I took the pictures, they came here, but nothing has been done.
Even they have increased the market, but still nothing has been done. We have been paying 12,000, from 12,000 to 30,000, from 30,000 35, from 35 to now 50, but still nothing happened.
With businesses declining and fears over possible disease outbreaks growing, traders are demanding urgent evacuation of the refuse and rehabilitation of the affected roads to restore normal activities in the market.
We are still pleading to the relevant authorities. They should come to our aid. This is giving us a lot of problems. We have been having problems. People are not coming to this side. Look at how the road is bad. Many vehicles, they came here, they'll stop here, they cannot even move from here.
Behind the growing heaps of refuse are traders battling daily to survive in an environment they say has become unsafe for business and human health. In Benue, for News Central, Sewesi Anyo.
I mean, I'm very surprised that to see that report come from Benue State. The governor of Benue State is a reverend father, and they always say
next to godliness.
To godliness, yes, that's it. So, great report there. Let's hope the authorities step in and do better.
Definitely. We'll go on a quick break.
Let's
go on a quick break. When we go on a quick break, when we come back, it's time for us to go to the NDC. I think we've done the PDP. We've touched a bit of River State.
We've touched PDAPC.
PDAPC. Let's now go to
you
the
know
NDC
what?
and so on. But let's tell you what's coming up next.
That's
coming up next
name.
here on Breakfast Central for the second hour as we keep it running. You're still watching Breakfast Central on News Central. Let's tell you that the Nigeria Democratic Congress has formally zoned its 2027 presidential ticket to southern Nigeria, a move widely seen as positioning Peter Obi to emerge as the party's presidential candidate under a proposed single 4-year tenure arrangement. The resolution, adopted unanimously at the party's national convention in Abuja, also provides for the presidency to return to the north in 2031 as part of a rotational agreement aimed at promoting equity, inclusion, and national cohesion. Rabiu Kwankwaso backs the zoning arrangement as a step towards fairness and national unity, while Peter Obi noted that the coalition is a principled movement set to tackle poverty, insecurity, and poor governance. Let's take a look.
Every Nigerian today is worried. No Nigerian knows where the next bill will come from. Because Nigeria is down among the 100th countries of the world. We want to move Nigeria from poverty, from consumption to production.
We should work in evidence with the parties' agreement to ensure fairness and federal character in all ramifications.
The ruling All Progressives Congress has dismissed the NDC and the African Democratic Congress as no threat to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ahead of the 2027 elections. APC National Chairman Nenwata Yewata and Imo State Governor, that's Governor Hope Uzodinma, argued that the APC's control of 31 states and majority representation across political offices showed its continued dominance despite growing opposition coalitions. Now, joining us live from our Abuja studios is a member of the NDC and a former House of Representatives aspirant, Dr. Chidi Okoye. Dr. Okoye, it's good to have you join us on the program. Good morning to you.
Good morning. A point of correction, I am not a former House of Reps aspirant. Rather, I am a current aspirant to the senatorial position in Anambra Central under the NDC. Thank you.
Correction noted. Thank you for that, sir. I mean, let's get started. You have stated your political ambitions, and now you're under the umbrella of the NDC. The NDC has zoned its presidency to the south. I do have to ask you about, what it's like at the NDC and what the strategy is. I mean, seeing the movement from the APC and stating that they have the majority when it comes to 31 states and also all the political offices, and they have an upper hand when it comes to winning the ticket come 2027. Does the NDC stand a chance?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's why the ruling party is perturbed. If they have all the governors like they claim, why are they interfering with internal party politics of coalition parties?
How?
So we have a great chance, and Nigerians are looking forward to that opportunity to choose for themselves the leader they can trust.
Now, Dr. Okoye, the NDC, your party, held its convention over the weekend. Could you run us through the convention? Was it a success in your opinion? And what are the highlights and key takeaways?
Yes, the highlights in the immediate past convention is part a number of them, but most importantly is the surge, the people who are coming into the party, even right there at the convention. We're still getting some, defections coming in from various parties and quality politicians joining, the force. And the crowd was uncontrollable. The arena was filled up, and the people outside were much more than the people inside, and the upper pavilion too was also filled up. And the crowd was uncontrollable. People were willing to stand. Dignitaries had nowhere to sit, but they continued to stand just to, be part of the event that took place. So it was quite a very huge success. Even like you can see on your screen, movie actors like myself, I was once, I'm still an actor, you never stop acting, but I was very active at the time. So we're all coming into politics now. So it was a huge success, I can tell you. And the rousing ovation, the combination of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso, that's a master stroke, can I assure you.
Okay. I mean, you've talked about the master stroke and the convention as well, but looking clearly, currently you are likely to run head-to-head with Senator Victor Ume, if I'm right, because you're looking at contesting the senatorial election for the same district as the Senator Victor Ume in the same political party. Is that true? And if that is true, do you think you have the political wit to outclass and ensure you clinch that ticket?
Yes, I do, given my antecedents. He knows me as well. We are both from Anambra State and both from Anambra Central, and we've been in politics long enough to understand and know each other's capacity. Yeah, my senior brother, Senator Victor Ume, well-respected elder. He's been in politics, but he has never contested anything until just the other time, which was the last election in 2023, right? And he had been in politics, negotiating, running party affairs, administratively. But there are two different ballgames. Running the party is different from representing the people. So, and I have been a grassroots mobilizer. I founded the Soludo Support Group because we were all in APGA. The Soludo Support Group is the structure that campaigned for Soludo and actually delivered it to the people. And shortly after that, the late Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, consulted me, and we agreed to, work for his governorship because he was getting ready to run against Soludo in the second tenure, and we formed the Ikemba Front. I founded the Ikemba Front. And if you know about Anambra politics, you know that the Ikemba Front was a major force that was shaking the polity of Anambra State, that gave Soludo sleepless nights, the way we were, sprouting and mobilizing forces, capable, able, influential politicians across all the wards and local governments of the state. And of course, if you were following Anambra politics, you can agree with me that Ifeanyi was coming a very major force to run over the state if he had not been called to by Mother Nature to answer the clarion on the unavoidable call everyone will definitely answer. So, that is also Ikemba front. And presently, we have the canopy for Peter Obi that I founded. All these things are also verifiable. You can check them all online. So, and the man who can mobilize 20 to 30,000 member followership for anybody can also mobilize them for himself. So I have the capacity to use the structure that I have built over time to run for myself. But when you see people who are running behind people, my senior brother, Senator Ume, lost party primaries in a party that he was the national chairman for over 12 years. And he lost the senatorial ticket there. And of course, you all know that he was among those who swore never to leave the party for whatever reason. But he couldn't take the defeat, so he ran to Labour Party. And fortunately for him, Peter Obi was on the ballot. Definitely that was why he went to the Labour Party. And that was like a password for him to scale through. He wasn't really put to any test, per se. He didn't run. It was actually the Peter Obi that ran. And he was favored by that platform. But this time around might be a different ballgame because I see wherever Peter goes, I see, that long red cap all around him, everywhere. Even Peter can't even avoid that anymore. Wherever he goes, he sees the red cap, keep looking behind. But the Peter Obi I know will not really want to, meddle into internal party selection process, which is what we expect that the new party will join the NDC, having people like Peter Obi and the leader of the party, Seriaki Dixon, these are men of integrity, the national chairman, and a whole lot of people with integrity, Pat Utomi, their likes and stuff. We're confident that the process will be free, fair, and a true test of who we are. Because appearing in Bauchi and Lagos and Sokoto and the rest is not the same as what I am doing. I've been in the East for the past 3 months, talking to the constituents, reaching out to structures. When we're in the ADC, I was in bed with the leaders of the party at the grassroots, the ward levels. I do not transverse the length and breadth of the state or the country with Peter. He will not push me back. He knows me. I've worked with him while he was governor, in different capacities. If I wanted to travel around with him, he wouldn't tell me to go back. But I don't think that is how I need to do my campaign. I have to sell myself to the people and, show what and promise what I can do.
Okay.
And given my antecedent, I have different positions in the past in the state.
Dr. Koye, there's a tradition, and like they say here in Nigeria, everyone lives by tradition, one way or the other, depending on where you're from and so on and so forth. And this has actually trickled into political parties where people ask questions like, does this political party really have an ideal direction? Just at the convention, there was a grand mention. Maybe we'll take away the grand because these days we've seen grand mention. We saw that happen in ADC. And all of a sudden, Peter Obi left, so we wouldn't call that a grand declaration. But there was a mention of the 4-year term. I'd like to play a video to you after I take this, share this question with you. 4-year term was mentioned, and Peter Gregory Obi, His Excellency, a former governor of Anambra State, said he's going to run for 4 years, and after he's done, he's going to hand it back to the North. And this was applauded, people were happy. But previously, he had made such statements too, and he gathered the reactions from the current Anambra State governor. I'd like to play a video. He's someone you're close to, but I'd like your reactions after the video. Let's take a look.
Anybody with brain, you think you are talking to fools. You come to people and say, I will do only 1 term. Anybody, any politician who said that must be sent to a psychiatric home. Because the person must have some mental problem. When the Constitution allows you to stay up to 8 years, you come and tell us, I'm going to spend 1 term. Tell us where it has ever happened. Who? On a column, But
So this is the current governor saying anyone who believes in a 4-year term, needs some mental evaluation. What's your thought? Do you also subscribe to the 4-year term?
Oh, yes. A 4-year term is doable. And before I even make the comment, I want to apologize to Nigerians on behalf of my governor for stooping too low to talk in this manner. If I say I was expecting him to say stuff like this, I would be deceiving you. But I can see it on TV, so he said it. Peter Gregory Obi has been known as a very, very credible personality with high level of integrity, proven, tested and proven. So a 4-year tenure is doable, and if he puts his words to it, you can take it to the bank. And if a 4-year program is well, if a 4-year tenure, because I heard him saying term, I don't know, but I believe he's referring to a 4-year tenure of government. If it is purposeful, well-structured, and followed the Anambra State, the time when he was governor in Anambra State, in a period of 4 years, Anambra had taken a new shape in every facet of administration and governance. So I do not see anything, impossible about him handing over a good country, a country that has been restructured for continuity. I think what we should be talking about is having a successor after 4 years that will be able to understand the roadmap that he is going to put on ground for a better administration, a better government. So I have no doubt in my mind at all. But the governor making mention of psychiatric evaluation is actually an insult to the person of Governor Peter Obi, Gregory Obi. Actually, lack of words. I'm actually in shock that my governor could use the kind of words. But I know Peter Obi, he doesn't keep malice. He doesn't get distracted by insults from people that he knows that he groomed. But there is no ramification. There is no basis for assessing or comparing Peter Obi and Governor Soludo.
Right.
Their administrations are not the same. Their personalities, there's no parameter for assessing them in any way. So, using that word mental evaluation and referring to him in a very sarcastic manner is disrespectful, but we'll pardon him for that. I must say.
Dr. Chidi Okoye, I have to ask you, earlier when you were replying to my question about, whether or not the NDC has what it takes to, run to make this race a 3-man race like we saw in 2023, you said yes, and that the APC really are scared because of all they've been doing behind the scenes. Can you speak more on that? What moves have they been making, and how much of a threat is the NDC to the APC?
Yes, the threat is real because when you see organic followership, organic support system, you will notice everything that happens in APC is paid for. You want governors to move, you give them extra incentives, they join. I don't see any reason why any right-thinking governor in Nigeria would say he wants this national government to continue. In what area have we improved? We've gotten worse than, we actually are in the fire from frying pan. So, but for the NDC, I can assure you that the people who are going to vote massively for the presidential ticket holder, who we expect that Peter Obi will emerge in the process, will be much more the population, the Nigerian people, not necessarily category members of the party. People have felt the brunt of this hardship and still feeling that there is no hope in sight except a man like Peter Obi comes in government. So it's not about NDC begging people to come and vote. It's now people trying to salvage themselves. So you can agree with me that I'm sure that even you, if you're not on studio that day, you will be voting for NDC if Peter Obi is on the ballot. For everybody wants a better Nigeria going forward. So the panic in APC is real, but stifling democracy is not going to be acceptable. That is the only problem I have with them. You already say you have the entire governors of all the states in Nigeria. So why are you still having a meddlesome activity in other parties? Chasing around wherever Peter Obi goes, you come in there, you throw in, confusion and legal jargons to distract him. But Peter Obi is a big strategist. Nobody saw him going to where he is today. But I can tell you that this plan, was well articulated because he perceived that this can happen. Even as we are right now, there are still plans to make sure that there's no outside interference in our process going forward. And thank God our convention has gone very successfully.
Okay. Now, Dr. Okoye, your party, the NDC, is the new opposition political bride. You've been attracting major political figures, lots of defections, so many people, restructuring state chapters, and beyond being the new political home and the beautiful bride, what distinct ideological identity does the NDC possess to differentiate itself from other Nigerian political parties, other existing parties? And why should Nigerian voters trust the NDC? Because they've been here before. And most of the elites just use their opportunist. Jump into the new bride as a special purpose vehicle just to get political power. Is there a distinct ideology, and why should Nigerians trust the NDC? Okay, sure.
First and foremost, the NDC will eliminate money politics, which is a very, very bad aspect of our polity. The NDC is going to give the ordinary person, the ordinary people in the streets, the ability, the opportunity to come and test their popularity. So that is a major one. And then secondly, the process, I assure you, will be transparent, as against people who come into the party, they say their ticket is already negotiated. That means that is already blocked. Nobody will contest, in that position because it's a reserve. Those things are not going to be seen in the NDC. So the Nigerian people should trust the person who is piloting. If you get into a plane and you see somebody that he didn't, he hasn't been to the pilot school, he has no training to be a pilot, and you hear that he's the one to fly a plane, I bet you decide to disembark. So, but when you hear a reputable pilot who has flown, super airlines, flying from Abuja to Anambra, for instance, and he's the pilot, I'm sure if you get into the plane, you will just sleep until you get to your arrive at your destination. So for somebody like Peter Obi to be on the ticket, the average Nigerian doesn't need any too much conviction, because his antecedents in the States speaks for it. And over the years, people have seen how he has been transversing the length and breadth of the country, doing his normal thing, charities, support-based, education, health. He doesn't know boundaries. It's not like the East, the West, the North. He's a Nigerian. What he does in the East, he does in the West, he does in the North. And he gives credit to every region in Nigeria for what they know. He has studied this country. He has compared it with other developed countries. He has a clear blueprint on what he wants to do, what is feasible, what is doable, and what is actionable. And I believe you all agree with me that giving him an opportunity.
All these things connected. Is there a connection with the grassroots? Because it sounds like elite politics, and they're just speaking at that level. But the ordinary Nigerian, the millions of Nigerians that are multidimensionally poor, his policies and the manifesto of the NDC, would it be able to resonate with them? Or are they even in the political calculations?
Yes, of course, the P2B and the manifesto of the party is people-oriented. I wish you can go online to Google it and see what the party manifesto says and the ideologies of the party. And Gregory P2B is somebody who likes reading and studying. So I'm very, very convinced that he has that manifesto of the party, and he has a blueprint of what will make Nigeria a great country once again. And I have no doubt in my mind that the 4 years tenure that he's given will be well utilized.
Okay. My question to you would be solely on the returnees. What we're seeing now are political allies or returnees who had run under the Labour Party umbrella or name. Let's use name, since umbrella simply belongs to a logo for another political party. They ran under the Labour Party political, space, and then all of a sudden they left and moved to the APC. But now that we know that the APC has its own direct zoning and, of course, primaries, we're starting to see them run back to the NDC. Is the NDC alert, and are they going to welcome these ones with opened arms who had left the Labour Party to the APC, and now that they see that they cannot clinch the ticket to the APC, they're rushing back to the NDC? On social media, they've tagged them all sorts of names. They are political returnees. They are confused politicians. They are those who are former beneficiaries of what they call Peter Obi or the obedient movement, and now they're coming back to the NDC. What's your take on that?
Well, Joe, you see, party is about people and numbers. In politics, the more the merrier. But I can assure you that they will be subjected to the same process every other person will go through. So having benefited from, the structure or the party and defected and running back again to the NDC, of course, the party will welcome them with open arms. But if they are seeking any special, concessions different from what will be applicable to the rest of the party members, that's not going to happen. I can assure you that.
We've seen people who have rode on the coats or the coattails of either Peter Obi and the Obedient Movement or the Labour Party, got elected into power, and then barely 3 years into their positions, they defected to the ruling party, APC. Saying that the APC have become the juggernaut that they have been, if you clinch the ticket and represent your constituency at the federal level, are we going to be here 3 years from now and you announcing your defections and saying that it was because of the leadership of the NDC that you defected?
I don't think that's going to happen, because if the party is still under the leadership of Senator Seriaki Dixon, and we continue the way we have started, there will be no need for me to leave, not even to any, like APC. APC doesn't sound like a place I want to be. So the party that gives me the platform is the party that I will help to build. This often defection of people who clinch tickets does not actually help the party and the polity. It gives the wrong impression of what democracy is supposed to be.
And if you don't get the ticket, and if you don't get the ticket, and if you do not get the ticket under this platform, what happens? If you do not get the ticket or you do not win from this platform, would you still stay another 4 years?
Of course, we have to build the party. At the end, this is a young party. Now, if we're fortunate to clinch the ticket and win the election, fine. If we do not, then we put the best we can to build the party for the next election. So I will stay with the party, build it, and get ready if I still want to run, and we'll move on. So I do not intend to leave the party, not for any reason I can see for now.
All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us. And it's been a very interesting conversation concerning the NDC. I know as days go by, weeks go by, hours, minutes, there'll be unfolding stories. So definitely this is a developing story as we head closer to the elections. Thanks for your time. We look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Away from that, Gbenga, I think we should look at what women are actually doing.
Women are doing a lot. And happy Mother's Day, belated Mother's Day to all the beautiful women out there, all the wonderful women, especially my mother is the most wonderful woman.
If you think about it,
my wife. Then your wife too.
Me, that I'm not wife or mother.
No.
But if you think
we're coming to you.
It's okay.
The way we do it on breakfast is we honor the women here.
Right.
So we're going to honor you.
All right. Well, I got to say this too: that the earth is filled. If you think about it, by and large, the earth is filled of mothers and their children.
Yes,
I agree.
We're all children of.
I agree with
you. Even the
I
men.
agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Fantastic analysis.
So can we now say that God is a woman?
No.
No.
Not yet. No.
In a bid to, I mean, still have to go on with it. In a bid to strengthen women and youth participation in agriculture, the federal government, in partnership with Action Aid, a German agency for international cooperation, have launched the National Gender Policy in Agri-Food Systems and a strategic action plan. This was during an event in Abuja, where they say that the policy's implementation will remove barriers limiting women's access to land, finance, training, and decision-making opportunities across the agricultural sector. They also add that greater inclusion of women in agriculture will improve food security, increase productivity, and support sustainable economic growth in Nigeria.
This policy reflects a clear and deliberate commitment by Nigeria to place gender equity and social inclusion at the heart of agri-food systems transformation. It recognizes that men, women, young people, and persons with disabilities are not just beneficiaries at the margins, but central actors and drivers of food security, livelihoods, innovation, and national development.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has recognized that gender mainstreaming remains the key to unlocking this potential. Substantial sums have always been set aside in our annual budget for mainstreaming gender in agribusiness. This gender policy is designed to bring focus on how we should support women to achieve our agricultural food system transformation.
The missing voice in the Nigerian development sector is the rural women farmers that have not been duly attended to. We support this administration. I want this administration to see that a woman farmer is standing tall, is occupying the space, is comfortable irrespective of her job.
And still on issues of youth, the Arewa Youth Assembly has called for the impeachment of Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State and Dakbo Abiodun of Ogun State over what it describes as an attempt to destabilize the Progressive Governors Forum and weaken the ruling party ahead of the next general elections. Now, the Northern Youth Group alleged that Governor Dakbo Abiodun, alongside Governor Peter Mba and others, sought to undermine the leadership of the Progressive Governors Forum chairman, and that's Governor Hope Uzodinma, which they described as an, quote, aborted palace coup against President Tinubu. They are demanding a public apology from the accused governors and have issued a 48-hour ultimatum for them to apologize to President Tinubu.
Brutus struck at a critical time in the reign of Julius Caesar. Abiodun chose the very day progressive governors accompanied Vice President Kashim Shettima to submit the re-election forms of President Tinubu to strike. Governor Abiodun not only recruited another soft target in person of Peter Mba, governor of Enugu State, to work against his own brother. They found willing tools in a few of the governors. They hastily announced the removal of Governor Hope Uzodinma since they saw him as an impediment to their perfidious plot. In short, they want to play Nyesom Wike by weakening the internal mechanism of APC, the way Wike did against PDP.
We will all recall that there's a lingering crisis between Dakbo Abiodun and Asuwaju before 2023 election, where he pointed at him and mentioned him as LA in Ogun State. And from that, he had harbored that, and now they have used him as a soft target.
At this point, it's very necessary for the House of Assembly in Enugu to call for the impeachment process of the governor, because we see it as a sabotage. Let them start the process. They should initiate the process. In fact, it's not Rivers State that is much of concern now, but they should initiate the process with immediate effect.
All right.
Still on more here, but first we got to go on a short break. Do we have more news? We have more stories?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about that's wishful thinking. The chances of seeing their dreams come true, dreams of seeing Governor Dakbo Abiodun and Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State impeached because of drama in the Progressive Governors Forum. They have two chances, slim and none, because it's never going to happen.
Slim and none?
Yes.
No chance.
Yeah, they're slim.
Yeah, slim and none.
Well, look, Arewa youth. I think there's a gazillion and one things that are there should be priority when it comes to youth of the youth of Arewa and also the entirety of Nigeria. There's drug abuse, there's education, there's out of school children. The number. There's also there's so much that they have to. Insecurity as well. There's also displacement, IDP camps, and also the issue of child marriage. How about we focus on that and leave the politicians to politic?
Well, Absolutely. Then again, it also behoves on them to highlight some of the worries that are within the party. They've talked about what's happening in the APC. I was expecting that they would talk about what's happening with the courts, the litigations, maybe hold a press conference to say, listen, judiciary, please get with the program and ensure that the judgments or the statements or everything that you need to do comes out on time ahead of the elections. Like you said, there are critical things to look into. But we had talked about it this morning. It was indeed one that was foiled on time. It would have caused a divide within the APC, even though you had the oppositions happy with it, where all of a sudden
there seems to be
Progressive
in the APC.
Governors Forum was divided all of a sudden. But that shows that when you have superstars in a football team, it becomes a problem, like we saw in the ADC. Or you have too many stars or political juggernauts in a party, you would always have some form of scuffle.
Or too many chefs.
Too many chefs in the kitchen.
Spoil the broth.
They spoil it. And that's exactly what we saw and what we've seen. And the APC is not...
I said it. I've said it. All this carpet crossing will be the undoing.
I guess we'll keep observing and seeing how things play out. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we still have so many things to unpack this morning on News Central's Breakfast Central. Do stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central as we look into what the weekend was like. Let's also mention that former Delta State Governor was equally screened over the weekend. I'm talking about His Excellency Ifeanyi Okowa. He was screened over the weekend, and that generated mixed reactions from a cross-section of Nigerians who felt this is a former governor who is faced with a lot from the anti-graft agency, the EFCC, concerning over 1.3 trillion naira money laundering issue. And yet, he was presented right before the screening committee under the APC. This has led to questions as regards to why was he being screened. The same was also said of a former governor of Kogi State as well, White Lion Yahaya Bello, who was also seen purchasing his forms. But there is a twist to that story, which we're highlighting here on Breakfast Central. Now that the PDP is divided in terms of factions, and then the CTC is being disputed right before the PDP's camps. I'm talking about the Turaki-led camp and, of course, the Nyesom Wike-led camp. While there's an ongoing dispute, the question is, in Kogi State, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Udoha had gotten her PDP form under the Wike camp. If what we saw from the CTC is actually true, does that mean that she would not be able to run for a second term in the office while she's there at the assembly? These are questions you might want to think about. But let's talk about someone who also made the headlines over the weekend. He's small, but guess what? It's not about the size. Like they say, sometimes it's about the engine. 30-year-old Muhammad Sadis Buba, popularly known as Abin Al-Ajabin Zazau, and believed to be a great-grandson of renowned businessman Al-Hassan Dantata, completed his screening as a House of Representatives aspirant for the Sabongari Zaria federal constituency in Kaduna State ahead of the 2027 elections. His ambition continued to generate conversations within political cycles, or you could say the circles, with many focusing on his age, rising influence and political structure as he actually seeks to represent the constituency at the National Assembly. Take a look at this video where he was being, who was addressed, and then questions were being asked, especially by a member, and saying, I mean, how old are you? Like, really, who are you? Maybe his size and face is getting people confused, but to be honest, you need to listen to this. Take a look.
How old are you? Huh? 30 years? Really? Wow. You're 30 years? And your mom is there, your dad is there? How many do you have? How many siblings do you have? Huh? 9 siblings. Are you the last? First son? Is there any of your brothers here? No. You just came alone? No. Huh?
He's old.
See him there.
See the old leader.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Can we see your membership card? Can you show me your membership card? Oh, okay.
Is that his file?
Yes, this is his file.
Did he go to school?
That's what I want to check. His credentials.
Are you working closely with your governor? So is he aware that you're here?
I have seen when he went
How
to present.
optimistic are you to win the... Do you have any opponent running?
Yes, very good.
How do you want us to help you? Yes, how do we help you?
You want to help me to pass the screen and
You will pass the screen?
Yes, go down to the province. Because people called me to serve. Then I will serve. I'm not the one who called myself. It's
my
people
God.
that called me to serve them.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And you want to serve them?
Yes.
And how many of those people are running? How many people are running against you?
In APC?
Yeah, in
No,
APC.
only 2.
Only 2?
Yes.
Why don't you talk to the other person to step down for you?
No, in the current member, it's the serving member.
How many times has it
No,
gone?
the first time.
First time.
Yes.
Why do you want to replace him?
No, it's not for me, it's from the people.
I love that.
That's okay. Write to me.
What's the level of education? You have not seen it. I think
yes.
They just...
Well,
not too young to run.
Not too young to run. 30 years.
He is 30, but of course we're not blind to how his appearance is or how he looks. And clearly from the questions that have been asked by the person who is in charge of screening the candidates who are there to get the tickets.
Also taken aback.
It's also taken aback. Well, we've seen this type of condition before. Of course, not to forget they're very popular actors by their stage name, Aki Apopo. It's called GHD. It's the hypopituitarism and growth hormone deficiency, also known as GHD. It's a condition, medical condition that is caused when the gland that is, responsible for growth doesn't produce enough growth hormones, and they have childlike characteristics, which you've seen from that picture there of Zauza, or the video from Zauza. He has, you can see the features, which is significantly younger, rounder, cherubic face, which is the round, chubby face. You also see the high-pitched voice that he has, the short stature that he does have as well, I mean, from his hands when he's extending to greet them, and also delayed or completely absent puberty because their body proportions remain symmetric. They maintain a highly childlike appearance rather than looking like an adult, and they're with their short stature. So, of course, there are testings that one can do to check if really they're of that age, but I don't think anyone would want to lie to get to that position.
I mean, the reason why I was there was to screen.
Yeah.
Screening is vying for House of Representatives membership. And typically, looking at the sorts of issues we have in Nigeria, I know it's an in-house thing, it's a political party thing, and then somebody purchases a form for millions of naira. Of course, if he's going to buy the form, and the only reason you can get to screening is after you've bought form.
Right.
So if you're going to disqualify someone, you better...
No, he got the form.
No, he got the form.
Yeah.
So you better have genuine reasons. I can't pay millions, and then you disqualify me. So maybe that's why they were asking low-ball questions.
Right.
Like, Judith was your favorite color, sort of type of
Because they're taking it back.
Because
Yeah.
what you expect is an understanding, a firm understanding of the legislative process, procedures, all sort of policies do you want to push or legislation? What's the biggest problem in your constituency? What are your academic qualifications?
Can we see
All I got from that was...
How old are you?
How old are you?
Are you the
exactly?
Are you sure? Are you the last
Are
born?
you the
What
first?
born are you?
Is your brother here?
Is your
You
family
know, and
members
very low-ball. So it
Governor
questions
aware
the
that
level of discussion, intellectual discussion we're having amongst in the political space, because Nigeria has very serious issues, and if we're going to send people to parliament, it's a very serious business.
Right.
The decisions they make would have impact on millions of Nigerian lives. You don't want to send them to parliament and be asking, do you have brothers, do you have sisters, of all the issues.
Of all that is
just
plaguing,
that's just the
I agree
only
with
grey
you.
area there.
I agree with you, Benga. I agree with you 100%. I think it's high time while we're saying the focus is on not too young to run, there are issues where Nigerians have come out to say the youth are not being given the opportunity to run. However, it must be mentioned that in as much as you want to take an office that is so gigantic and so important, you must be qualified and ready mentally, physically, you name it, in all aspects. You must really understand the Constitution, not just the Constitution. Let's even leave that.
The workings
you must understand
of
the workings
and
what you need to do, what is expected of you. In that video, we saw questions that many felt, they're just below the belt questions. You should have asked the most important questions. And the young lad we saw there had met with the president. The photos and pictures, we do hear that he's also a favorite. And then he also met with the Senate president as well when he purchased his forms. And I recall one of the videos, Senate president was shocked, like, oh, really? Is that his age?
Yeah, because of his appearance and his condition.
What did he do with the form?
Yeah, you get taken aback.
It's good to, and I like it when, that's why I'm against ageism and any sort of
discrimination. Absolutely.
In politics
100%.
or women, you should be qualified for the office based on merit of what you bring, your antecedents, your track record, and and everything you possess to improve the situation and the lot of your people. So let's not play this game of, because it's cute or
because it looks young,
then automatically she get the ticket, or because she's a woman, or because she's an old person or a former politician, has been in office since 1999. No, everyone should be voted for based on competence, their ability to deliver
again and again, and their track record.
Do the work.
I agree with you guys 100%.
Right.
But anyway, you can let us know what your thoughts are. Just go ahead and drop a comment or two. We have so many comments on YouTube, and time would fail us if we have to take all of them. But what happens next for the 9 o'clock hour definitely will be the newspaper front pages, but that will come after we bring to you breakfast headlines. We also have Which Way Nigeria to look into, a very deep conversation we must have. But let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at breakfast headlines. Thanks for staying with us. Let's tell you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has arrived in Nairobi, Kenya to participate in the 2026 Africa-France Summit scheduled for May 11th and 12th. The president departed France and landed in the Kenyan capital shortly after midnight on Monday for the high-level meeting co-chaired by French President Emmanuel Macron and Kenyan President William Ruto. The summit is expected to focus on key issues including energy transition, green industrialization, digital transformation, climate action, and reforms to the global financing system, with President Tinubu's participation aimed at strengthening Nigeria's strategic partnerships with African nations and France. Following the summit in Nairobi, the president is expected to travel to Kigali, Rwanda after the annual Africa CEO Forum holding from May 14th to 15th. Let's stay on security matters. Nigeria's defense headquarters has denied reports alleging civilian casualties during recent aerial interdiction operations carried out in Shiroro local government area of Niger State. According to the military, the strikes targeted different identified bandit enclaves in Katema, Boko, Kusasu, and Kuduru villages, following intelligence on planned attacks against civilian communities and security facilities. The Defense Headquarters said about 70 armed bandits were neutralized in the operation, insisting that local residents had earlier relocated from the affected areas for safety. The military added that investigations have been ordered into the allegations while reaffirming its commitment to precision operations and the protection of civilians. In the meantime, troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai have crushed scores of Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists during a night attack on 120 Task Force Battalion Gunuri under Sector 2 in the late hours of Saturday in Gujba local government area of Yobe State. The Media Information Officer Headquarters Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, confirmed the incident in a press statement. The incident comes barely 48 hours after troops fought a large-scale coordinated attack by ISWAP terrorists on Headquarters 27th Brigade at the Buni Gari checkpoint, which led to the killing of 50 terrorists. However, some security operatives also lost their lives. Let's now go to Edo State, where a student of the University of Benin has been shot dead by suspected gunmen outside the institution's Ogbo campus in Benin City. Eyewitnesses said the attackers opened fire on the student at close range while he was driving out of the university's main gate in a GLK Mercedes-Benz on Sunday evening. The victim was said to have completed his examinations in the political science department shortly before the attack, while 2 other occupants of the vehicle reportedly survived and were taken for medical treatment. Police operatives later arrived at the scene to evacuate the body as investigations continue into the incident. In a separate report, another student was allegedly chased with a machete at the Social Science Lecture Theatre on Saturday, but escaped unhurt. As at the time of this report, the Edo State Police Command is yet to give an official comment on the incident. Away from that story now, still talking politics, Yarowa Youth Assembly has called for the impeachment of Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun and Enugu State Governor Peter Mba over alleged attempts to destabilize the Progressives Governors Forum. The group claimed the governors were involved in moves aimed at undermining the leadership of PGF Chairman Hope Uzodinma, describing it as an aborted palace coup against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The youth group also demanded a public apology from the accused governors and issued a 48-hour ultimatum for them to apologize to the president. The allegations come amid growing political tensions within the ruling APC ahead of the next generation or general elections. United States President Donald Trump has rejected Iran's latest conditions for ending the Middle East conflict, describing Tehran's response to Washington's peace proposal as totally unacceptable. The exchange comes amid rising fears of renewed confrontation following weeks of negotiations involving the United States, Iran, and regional actors. Iran warned it would retaliate against any new U.S. strikes and oppose further foreign naval presence in the Strait of Hormuz, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisted the war cannot end. Iran's enriched uranium is removed and nuclear facilities dismantled. The latest developments have intensified concerns of regional stability, global oil supply routes, and the future of ongoing diplomatic efforts. And that's all on Breakfast Headlines. Stay with us here. We have the front pages of the newspapers up next. You can also call in to share your thoughts on some of the biggest stories. We'll be right back.
How does a country trying to build a digital economy keep losing the very money meant to connect its people while still falling behind its own targets. The Universal Service Provision Fund, the USPF, established under the Nigerian Communications Commission, the NCC, was designed to bridge Nigeria's digital divide, extending internet access to rural schools, underserved communities, and healthcare centers excluded from commercial telecom investment. But instead of accelerating inclusion, the fund is now at the center of allegations involving more than 26 billion naira in questionable transactions, including claims of unapproved contracts, undocumented expenditures, and payments allegedly made without clear evidence that projects were properly executed. 26 billion naira in a country where digital access is no longer optional. It is economic survival. Now, consider this. Nigeria's broadband penetration reached 53.07% as of January 2026, representing about 115.04 million subscriptions. On paper, that looks like progress, a milestone, but it's a milestone that still falls short of the 70% target set under the 2020 to 2025 National Broadband Plan. The gap is not just statistical. It represents millions of Nigerians still outside the digital economy. And that is exactly why the USPF matters. Because while national broadband figures suggest growth, rural Nigeria tells a different story. Communities are still struggling with weak or no connectivity, students unable to access digital learning, and small businesses locked out of online opportunities. Yet, audit-linked reports have raised concerns about billions allegedly unaccounted for within the very structure meant to close that gap, including claims of unremitted operation surpluses, spending outside approved budgets, and payments without verifiable project delivery. And this is where the issue goes beyond one agency, because it's becoming a pattern. In Nigeria, audit reports expose billions in irregularity. Investigations are announced. Public outrage rises, then it fades, and nothing fundamentally changes. No strong deterrence, no consistent accountability, no system-wide corruption. And so corruption doesn't just persist, it stabilizes. That is the danger when dysfunction becomes routine and accountability becomes optional. Every missing naira has a consequence. It is the rural student cut off from the digital learning. It is the entrepreneur unable to compete in a digital marketplace. It is a country trying to build a modern economy while leaving millions offline. You cannot claim progress when your infrastructure targets are unmet and your development funds are under scrutiny. You cannot speak of inclusion when the very mechanism for inclusion is in question. A nation that cannot account for its present cannot secure its digital future. Good morning, Nigerians. Another week, another missing fund, USPF this time around. There's NPC, and there are many, many others, but we would get there someday. The anti-corruption agencies should be on top of their toes, looking into some of these issues. But it's time for us to look at the stories making headlines in the newspaper, and we have political affairs analyst in the studio with us, Mr. Dotun Ojon. A warm welcome to you. It's very rare to see you on a Monday, but we're happy to, because seeing you on a Monday means we have very serious business. Yes, it deserves that bell. Yes, even though the stock.
So I'm always taken aback by this. Yeah, I'm always taken aback by, like, where's it coming from? Like, oh my goodness.
Special bell.
Good morning this Monday.
Good morning and happy new week to you.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. Right, it's good to have you as always.
Good to have you.
Where do we start from today? Okay, Al Jazeera, Nigeria. Jet A1 crisis threatens flight safety, says the Pilots Association. The rider says pilots experiencing elevated fatigue levels, and then fatigue impairs cognitive function and erodes situational awareness. A pilot or an engineer's most essential tool is that petrol. And traditional rulers, key partners in governance and grassroots development, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Children's Parliament takes girl child advocacy to Katsina Rural School. Troops repel ISWAP attack on Borno military base, recover weapons. That's some good news there. Salary disputes. Court voids 1.07 billion naira awarded to ex-Kogi State Governor. And in business, Nigeria Stock Exchange markets cap rises to 157 trillion amidst 324 billion naira turnover. UNFPA, Bauchi Governor, rolls out digital app for safer deliveries. And Oshun, gunmen kill son of a code women leader. Sad story there. And in Niger State, airstrikes kill scores of civilians in Niger village. Sad news. There, a case of friendly fire. And National Assembly, Southwest Caucus celebrates the Fashionati at 100. I think we should talk on this. Jet A1 crisis threatens flight safety. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace and Airline Operators of Nigeria did raise issues about the unsustainable, the price. It went from about 900 naira to about 4,000, or if I'm not mistaken, Jet A1 fuel. Yeah. And airline operators are saying, look, we have to down tools. We can't buy fuel at this level. The presidency intervened. They said they should take some tax cuts, some levies should be, but it doesn't appear to have changed the situation. What would you make of this? And they're pointing fingers at marketers, that they're the ones that are making taking undue advantage of the situation.
We have actually not got it right. I remember that I was here the other day and I was talking about we're trying to compare the prices of how much people have to pay to fly in Nigeria, even with within the current reality of our currency. And I remember I mentioned to you that it was not reasonable. And at that point, I cited some European cities and how much it will cost you, even when you convert your euro to naira, it's still cheap. Not reasonable. Yeah. So, but we are in a community. I was just discussing before we came on camera that you need to be extremely creative in Nigeria to be able to run any kind of business. As we have it today, it's costing some of these airlines over 40% of whatever it is that they get to fuel their airlines and do. As at February, you mentioned, it was around 900. At a point, it went to over 3,000 and hovering around 4,000. Yes. It was unrealistic. And the conversation in the marketplace is that, how is it that we are unable to cut off from international market? If we say that, oh, we have a Dangote refinery and all of that. But the reality is that consistently the federal government or the NPCL has not been able to meet up the demand that they promised Dangote. That's the local content that is supposed to
the crude oil.
Crude oil, buffer the effect of whatever crisis we are facing across the globe. As we have it, as at May, the NPCL was only able to provide about 31% of the total intake of crude. So he missed that. Dangote sourced about 69% of the crude outside of the country. So when
with Forex.
Yes, when you do importation like that, it is logical that you will want to prioritize export. And that's why whatever is happening abroad now, we do not have any kind of buffer. And I remember I was talking about the final solution, because we are a people of today. We always say, oh, what can we do today to solve the problem? And I said it repeatedly, that until we have the capacity to refine locally as a nation, and we can actually feed our refineries, whatever happens abroad will continue to have impact on us. This is a community today where you can no longer travel. I was on a dangerous road between Ibadan and Ijebu day before yesterday. Everybody I called said, what are you doing on that road? So it is sensible that more people will want to fly. And of course, when you fly, it opens up the economic thing, in terms of man-hour.
Facilitates trade
and all of that. Yeah. But if we continue to cover up this opportunity, it's not a good thing for our economy. But as it is today, there's no shortcut. The only thing we can do to buffer economically, to buffer the effect of anything that is happening globally is for us to have a refining capacity within the shores of our country and be able to feed our refineries.
But the president gave an order, I think it was earlier this year, about increasing the RP when it comes to our crude production. And I think they were taking advantage of the hike in oil prices due to what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz and Israel, US, and Iran. And I did raise issues with that order, saying that I do not think that they would be able to meet that demand of increasing, barrel production. And now we're seeing these figures. We're looking at the contributory content of crude oil that was supposed to be given to Dangote to buffer our case of subsidy removal and production. So, do you think that they're meeting the crude oil demands? And what would it take to be able to meet that content demand that Dangote needs for us to get to that point where it's not as biting as it is now?
Okay, so I think in fairness to government, nobody can outperform his mindset. The mindset of government cannot be outperformed. Now, this is what I mean.
But is government an individual?
No, so the philosophy of the man who leads a government has a direct reflection on how governance is, or how government is run. True. Now, when you have a barrel per day of, let's say, 1.8, it's an improvement. Mm-hmm. But over the years, we have borrowed our future out. What it means is that we have a commitment to pay some of the borrowings that we have made with crude. So the philosophy of government is that let us produce more. Yeah. But I think that is not even the solution. The solution is that if you produce more and the money keeps getting into wrong hand and into wrong pocket, we still continue to come back to where we haven't closed the gaps. You were reading about corruption. People don't understand the impact of corruption. The monies that the Nigerian government has borrowed over the years, they weren't used for developmental purposes. If, for example, our train system, and you remember the other day, I was looking at Lagos, and I said one very big investment that I've seen across continent of people, of country with population, is transportation. Right. If all of these monies that we have borrowed, if we had invested in transportation, it would have been a huge development by now. Right. So what we are saying in essence is that even when government tries to say, oh, we want to increase this barrel per day, there's also a fear that somehow the money will come in, but it will not have a direct impact on. And where I was talking about the mindset of government, if the mindset of government today changes and says that, okay, from this amount of fuel we are getting, we want to commit 50% to Dangote, you will see that the direction of administration will also change. So it's still a mindset thing. People now are not ready to commit to this thing. It's not about using crude to pay our debt alone. It's about commitment. And until you see that the suffering of one Nigerian is the suffering for all Nigerians, we will not be able to solve all of these problems. Because I have money today to fly around the community, I may not care whether they kidnap me.
Because nobody exists in a vacuum. Right, but I do have to ask you, and I still have to ask, right, regarding the issue of borrowing, because this also ties into our production and oil consumption and our buffers in terms of GDP. We're about to go ahead and borrow again, and it's still about human capital development on projects that is about, for the poorest of the poor, uplifting poverty and also youth empowerment, but never about, like you said, transportation and infrastructure. Do you think that the leaders still have they not gotten it correctly, or is this just another hole, or should I say another ploy for widening its pocket?
If you look at our economy, some of the things that we criticize, really, if you compare our economy with other economies in the world, you will discover that they also practice some of those things. Number one of them is the conditional cash transfer that we talk about. A lot of people have actually criticized it. But the truth is that if you see an economy that is developing, there's always that little area that accommodates such a transfer. But the truth is that this money never gets to the hand of those people who need it. So again, we are coming back to the issue of corruption. A friend of mine had confided in me, and let me betray him on air.
Please don't. Please don't.
He has confided in me that during President Buhari administration, he has an opportunity of working within the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. And he said to me that anytime they want to do something, they can just pack a bag of Ghana must go.
Right.
And they go to some places in Abuja and they quickly distribute money. And they put it on there that, oh, we have actually distributed so amount of money. Now, it tells you that government is never strategic about all of these plans. Number one, we're talking about internet penetration. We're talking about the number of people who have bank accounts. It is not up to 50% of Nigerians who have bank accounts. The poorest of the poor do not have. It means that for you to get to them, you need to pass through their leaders. You remember what happened in 2020? That the rice, that the noodles and everything that they gave to people to distribute, they never did. So as long as we pass through this political route of going through political leaders to reach to people, it is either they are given to members of their own political parties alone, or they are not given at all to anybody. So it's still a problem of corruption. Fantastic ideas, fantastic innovation, but execution is where I have problem with. So when they borrow tomorrow again, if we say the borrowing is for empowerment, I will always have issue. Because our own kind of empowerment has never taken people out of poverty. But instead, it sets a standard. If you know, and I remember the other day I was here, in 2021, NDC got 231 billion naira as allocation for the year. In 2012, they got about 250 billion. Do you know that NDC wasted this money? One of the biggest communities in my place is called Kiribo. Kiribo is very popular because it's the hometown of Omoyele Sowore. If you are going to Kiribo today, you will see a line, that's electricity line, what do they call it, going into Kiribo from your right. And immediately you peep at the left, you see a different electricity line. The one from your right is from the state government. The one at the left is from NDC. Both are meant to power a town called Kiribo, but up to today, after about 12 years, Kiribo does not have lights. So this is how we waste government fund, and we call it empowerment. They give money to people, members of their political parties, but at the end of the day, what is the effect on governance? So I think beyond plain politics, and that is why the other day when I came here, I was talking about the fact that in a tenure of 4 years, we only use about 1.5 years for governance. The remaining 2.5 years is politicking. Who succeed me? Who wins second time? Who comes? Who does not come to House of Rep? Who is going to be Senate President? This is what we waste our time to do. And until we get to a point where we take governance more seriously than how we take politics, we'll continue to have a recurring issue of shortfall and economic pain on the people.
Okay. Let's still look at Al Jazeera newspaper. There's very interesting stories there as well. Traditional rulers, key partners in governance, grassroots. Benga had also gone through some of the stories. But let's look at this one. Airstrikes kill scores of civilians in Niger village. There's an update that civilians were not killed. It was precision target and it hit the right place. So we're seeing...
So the military is saying a repeat of what happened in Maiduguri.
What happened in Maiduguri as well. And then follow up to that story, troops repel ISWAP attack on Borno military base, recover weapons. Over the weekend, there were rumors that some of the troops, of course, it was agreed that some lost their lives in between that. But let's talk about our security. The fight against security seems politicking has taken over insecurity, but we must also give kudos to the Nigerian military for putting up such a strong fight.
Yeah. So yes, and also the mindset of these criminals, these insurgents, to have the temerity to even attack forward operation bases of the Nigerian army, taking the fight to them. What does this tell you about their nature?
Okay, so let's try and connect all of these three stories because they are related. If you look at the traditional ruler story, at a point they were talking about the work that traditional rulers are doing, providing intelligence and all of that. And if you connect it to the story of bombing, of civilians and all of that has been raised, let me tell you what a lot of Nigerians do. Majority of people in some of these zones, they have soft spot for these bandits. A professor was kidnapped in Ile-Ife, and they were waiting for the ransom to be paid. And when the man came out, he had granted an interview, and he said at night, he was hearing Yoruba. People call me to transact business with the bandits, and they were
Speaking Yoruba.
They were speaking Yoruba.
Right.
They wanted to, you understand. Now, so it tells you that communities are involved. You remember what happened in Kwara? That a king was actually arrested because he was getting money directly from bandit. All of this.
Right. I'm going to pause you for a second. I understand we have a caller. Frank from Port Harcourt is joining us now. Frank, good morning to you.
Good morning. I greet everybody in the studio.
We greet you too.
Yeah, NDC is on their presidential ticket to South. Yeah. It's a welcome development. And I want to appeal to ADC to follow suit. Let them also follow NDC and SDP, APC, and other parties who have done their ticket to South. This is the turn of South. And I want to appeal to our former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for him to jettison the ambition of truncating the turn of South. I know it's a gentleman agreement. And we started it in 2019 when he contested under Buhari, and he lost the election. None of the Southern presidents come up that time. So he also should follow suit and support the Southern candidate in ADC. Thank you and God bless you.
God bless you as well. Thank you.
Everybody to do South.
So as I was saying, we must also continue to educate our people so that they don't dip in, because insecurity has become an economy.
A business.
A business for everybody. And a lot of people are actually buying into it. I told you a 32-seater bus was actually going in one part of the east. And some few Okadas just drove past. And before they know it, they opened fire on them, killed the policeman. And about 3-4 of them escaped into the bush. They thought they've escaped the kidnappers, only for them to see a farmer. And they explained the situation, and the farmer said, let me take you back to the village. And the farmer took them back to the kidnappers. It shows that members of the community, too, have actually bought a franchise into crime. And that's because they have seen that government is only paying lip service. And how do you know that government is paying lip service? If the Senate president of your nation comes out to say, oh, this insecurity is because of politics. No, we are Nigerians. We are strong people. We will not give our land to strangers. We will not succumb to the threat of bandits and kidnappers. No. So we must get to a point where if that word alone can embolden anybody to continue to...
I mean, it sounds
but do you think it must have evolved from that, right? Because at first... The issue of insecurity, what we saw in Borno State, it seemed like it was politicized, or it was fueled by politics, given that Goodluck Jonathan was in office at the time, right? And that was it was the platform that the APC did campaign to get into office, with Buhari being the Trojan horse of what we're now in. So did it evolve? Did it go out of hand? Do you think it went out of hand for the opposition?
I was on this platform when I said it, that any time election is coming, insecurity will always go up. Absolutely. But it is not in the place of the government
it's not an
to
excuse.
accept that it's because of politics. You've got to fight back. You will not leave your nation into the hand of bandits and criminals.
Just a second. We have a caller. Annie from Abuja is on. Lenin, there we go. John Lennon from Abuja is on the call. Lennon, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody.
Go ahead, please.
I'm calling because of FCT. I'm in Abuja, so I'm directing this to the Minister of FCT. Please tell him that Abuja is very dark at night. There is no street light. It is appalling that the capital city of the biggest black nation in the world is dark at night. The biggest black nation in the world doesn't have a running transportation system. It is very, very sad during rainy season that people will be on the road. You know that Abuja doesn't have bus stops. So people that are coming back from work mainly stand on the road. God bless you, or God forgives you that rain starts at that particular time. You don't know where to run to.
Right.
Yeah. It's very, very sad. I don't want to talk about insecurity. The government knows what to do about it. So they know, because if insecurity meets them, they know what to do. They just that they don't care. It's because that it's not affecting their relatives, their children, their this thing. If there is insecurity in Gusape or Maitama or this thing, Katampe extension that they stay, they know what to do. It's because it's happening in Borno, Sokoto, Kwara, this thing, in remote villages. That is why I don't know what to do. They just pay their tears. It's not as if they don't know what to do. They know. It's just that it's not affecting them directly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lenin. I want to talk about the issue of streetlights, because last time I was in Abuja.
You also did a report on streetlights, on Lagos.
Thankfully, Lagos is doing something about it.
Not on those pedestrian bridges, though.
Not enough.
Yeah.
I was surprised that in central Abuja, the front of Transcorp Hilton, this was months ago, the last time I was in Abuja, it was dark, and most parts of the city.
Right. Even
how do we live
December,
in 2026? That is the most basic of issues to deal with, streetlights. And it's not for aesthetics. It's a safety and a health issue. And there's no reason why the Federal Capital Territory, as I said, of the largest black nation in the world, should not have streetlights. It's embarrassing. And the FCT minister should really do something.
Abuja itself, I don't even think, Abuja wasn't built for pedestrians. And the way it was designed, and when you look at it, when you're coming from the real estate and the urban planning, I don't necessarily think it was built with the mindset that there will be people without cars, and they didn't build it for a city that's usable for pedestrians and, for the middle class and lower middle class. The way it was built for bureaucrats and, the higher officials and diplomats and those who will be in their cars. I don't necessarily think it was built for that. And
but you should adjust to the present day realities.
That's what I'm coming to. You should adjust to realities. I mean, look at the roads that we're doing now. There's no pedestrian lane. There's no lane for motorbikes. You are driving and you are trying to make way for somebody who is also driving their kurupe or their keke napep or the delivery bikes. And the truth of the matter is, we're saying that we're trying to move away from fossil fuels and get more, electric cars on the road, and also get people to be on bicycles and use roads. But you don't build cities that are moving with the times, and it's sad.
Okay, let me quickly I wanted us to. Do we have a call? Okay, we have a caller. I want us to link something to the leadership. We talked about insecurity. Leadership has an update as well on that. John, are you there? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good to have you on a Monday morning. Go ahead, please.
All right. Good morning, everybody in the studio. Good morning. All right. I would just want to talk about insecurity. Some time ago, Oshomole raised an issue that what happens in the north, that some ex-generals are aware of this, and that he raised this issue to then President Buhari. Because it's a security issue, then when he raised it to Buhari, it is treated the way they treated it. But he has to come out on air to say it did. I don't think anything has been said about it, and this is a victim. Now again, I want to ask, how do they prove defense funds? Because 8 years, I think almost every government I know so far since this security started keep giving appropriation after the burn to defense. How do they prove them? Because it appears that some people just today I saw online guns that is situated into the northern region for insecurity. How did these guns? How did they buy it? Who sponsors it? I'd like to ask you, these people know what they are doing, and they know what to do. Because you can't say all the intelligence you have in this country cannot protect this thing happening. If some people are not benefiting from it. That's my take. But please, tell Nigerians, we always tell these people the truth, no matter what happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. A lot said there. But let's go to the leadership. We're almost, wow, time runs so fast. Leadership front page there. It says, we see pictures, Binga. Pictures still linked to insecurity, left to right. National Security Advisor Nuri Badu with United States Vice President J.D. Vance. You have him there. On the other side, you also have the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
Yes, and Nigerians are saying, look, this partnership since the Christmas Day bombings, since President Trump released that famous truth post where he said Merry Christmas to everyone and also the dead terrorists. The insecurity seems to have spiked. So what is really coming out of this deal with the United States and this so-called partnership?
Okay, so we can only continue to hope that something tangible will come out. I've said it repeatedly that the fight against terror is not a fight of deadline. It's a fight of commitment and consistency. Commitment is one word that has question mark as far as the Nigerian government is concerned. And that's why you see that if you have intelligence, for example, and the event still happens, it puts a question mark on your integrity in the international community. Mm-hmm. For example, there was an intelligence in the last killing in Benue State, and you saw it, and the thing still happened. So now when you go out to have conversation like this, people are thinking, oh, are these people actually benefiting from all of this crisis that is happening? That's why I think they have not totally trusted us. And also, people don't know this. And it's very, very important. When I went for a training on nation branding and I came back, I was sharing this story with you. In the class, the person said we should guess the kind of medium, the best medium to actually use to launder the image of your country. And everybody was talking. Some said television, some said, he said the people.
Yes, culture.
The people.
Culture.
He said, if your people do not believe in whatever you are doing, they will make a mess out of it, no matter how well you communicate it. So now there's a disconnect between what the government seems to be doing, or what the government says is doing, and the reality that the people are seeing daily. If you say you are fighting terror, you are fighting banditry, and I can still not go to my community, then there's a question mark. But we'll continue to believe that everybody involved in the fight against terror will be committed to it, to the point that whatever help that we need anywhere, we'll be able to get it. But with our divided political strategy of today, I doubt whether we are going to actually get anything more.
Before we get to politics, I know that we're still on insecurity, but we will move to politics in due time. I do have to ask you, the tactic or the approach or technique or what's a method that the security agencies are using to repeal the terrorist ISWAP or Boko Haram or Lokarawa is with airstrikes, right? And although they say there are no casualties, but, you know, on-ground reporting and, you know, allegations from the people who are around this neighborhood have said that it's affected civilians. And oftentimes they even say those who they label as bandits are their family members. And so why then use airstrikes? You know, do you think that it is working, the airstrikes? Do you think they're working? And what could have been a better method to, you know, nip this issue at the bud?
Okay, so when you talk about airstrike, that seems to be the only upper hand we have as a nation. If Boko Haram has half of what we have, by now they will be sitting in Lagos as the governor. So the only advantage, I'm telling you, the only advantage we have is the airstrike. And we must continue to also rely on ground intelligence. Ground intelligence, use people that are on the ground. Unfortunately, people are not going to offer intelligence when they don't believe that
but
they are fighting
airstrikes
for
also
them.
pose their own problems, and I guess
Everywhere.
That's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
With regards to collateral damage,
Yeah, everywhere
you
in
have
the world.
civilians caught up in the crossfire.
Everywhere in the world, because as I said earlier, there are people that are sympathetic to the cause of Boko Haramism. There are people who take food to them. So you cannot totally, all we need to do is to ensure that we have on-ground intelligence that is credible enough so that when we are striking, we are not striking at a time when people come to meet them. We are striking at the time where maybe when they are going out to fight, to kidnap and to do all of those things.
Do they have credible intelligence? I mean, from what we've seen and what we've heard and from the people that are in those neighborhoods, they've always said that the security agencies are not acting on credible intelligence.
That's the problem. They have credible intelligence.
And that's what they're saying, the Americans.
Also, when you saw with the December Christmas Day airstrikes, they said it wasn't credible. They attacked, or rather, their drones fell on empty areas and places that really was deserted.
The truth is that some of our people too, some of our people too, because of their mindset, especially religious mindset, any war that anyone tags with religion would be complicated. Our people too, you cannot completely trust what they are saying. Okay. Because the truth is that they are sympathetic to their cause.
Let's look at, we have one last story. We have 2 minutes to wrap this story up. I don't know how you're going to do it, but it's still on the front page of the leadership, page 31. Fubara fumes, declines comments over APC screening. You follow the APC, PDP, PGF drama from the weekend. Governor Hope was almost removed. Then they came back together and said, hey, we're strong, we're certain. And then APC members who had moved from the PDP to the APC were delayed screening. They got screened later, blah, 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 blah. The story is long, but what's your take on it?
Fubara is 3 years in office.
Absolutely.
Out of that 3 years, it's used close to 2 years to fight, if not over 2 years. And it's quite unfortunate that we are having this situation. And I've said it repeatedly. Most times, it's not about the desire to want to become. It is what you do when you become. I was running for office. I think I've told you this story before. So. As a student union president, I was running for office. And I won. And one of my greatest opponents had entered the school and looked at me in the face and said, see, the wisdom you used to build a house is nothing compared to the wisdom you used to live in the house. That's exactly what has happened to
I feel vindicated because I said it doesn't have it in him to fight against
the truth is that you will know your capacity. Thank God we gave an advice here. Absolutely. When I talked about political portable, that there are some people I will not enter the market. Yeah, that I will not go and fight with.
You need to ring that bell.
Out of my 2 minutes.
Go ahead, please.
There are people I call political portable. I'm not going to fight with them. You have to re-strategize. Unfortunately, it was a bit too late. I was in Rivers. I did my interviews, and they told me that the people love him.
Yes.
But to own the politics of the land, they give it to Wike. And I told you historically, anytime the people of the land and the politics of the land conflict, the politics of the land will always prevail. We always win. So that's the situation we are in. I just hope that at the end of the day, there will be a settlement that will favor him. And he will use the next 4 years, if he comes back, to really develop Rivers the way he wants Rivers developed. But as it is now, and that is to say, if you don't have the prerequisite strength, you will not go back to your village and be asking, who killed my father? We just wait till then.
And
on
that's
that
it.
note,
that's it.
We wrap things up on that note.
Yeah, mama.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you on the front pages of the newspapers.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we want to use this medium to honor all the mothers and all the women. And Judith, take your flowers, please.
I want flowers, no bell. I want flowers, no bell.
Thank you guys for watching. YouTube is agog with so many comments. So let's take the final one. Joseph Smart says, good morning, Benga and Joe. Welcome, Judith, to the morning show. You guys have been exceptional today. We're always exceptional, but
Thank
we
you.
appreciate
Thank
this.
you.
We appreciate the work you do on a daily. God bless you and your guests. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you too, and God bless
you for the
all
kind
guests who have
words. Thank you
joined
for
us,
the
especially
welcome.
those who took out time to speak with us this morning on a Monday morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is where we drop the anchor on today's show. See you tomorrow. I'm Benga Borowa.
I'm Judith at TV. Here's Joe Hansen. We're passing the baton to the ladies at the Jasiri table. For us, it's bye for now.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.